Well, last night, Aussies across the south were treated to an astonishing astronomical display as solar winds lit up the night sky in a show of colour and movement. But if you didn't see it, the good news is the show is far from over.
It's one of the most beautiful sights in nature. The Aurora Australis lighting up the southern skies overnight, delivering a spectacular light show of pinks and greens for onlookers in Tasmania, Victoria and South Australia.
To see it visible with your eyes was the first thing that was just astounding. But then doing some long exposure shots really brought out the true colours of it. The first time I viewed them on the back of the camera, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
There were similar spectacles in the Northern Hemisphere. The Aurora Borealis visible across much of North America, Europe and the UK.
Oh my God! I've never seen it. Oh, look, it's right overhead. And look, you can see it all the rays all converging on that point up there.
The aurorae are caused by geomagnetic storms, coronal eruptions from the sun sending charged particles millions of miles, where they collide with our atmosphere, drawn to the magnetic poles, creating a breathtaking curtain of light.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This current storm is a G5, the most extreme on the scale. With a Bureau of Meteorology warning, it can
potentially disrupt critical infrastructure such as power grids, causing power outages, and satellite services, affecting communications and global position, navigation and timing services.
It's happened before. The last G5 was in 2003, where it caused power outages in Sweden, damaged transformers in South Africa, and disrupted more than half the world's satellites. But aurora intensity is often lower in Australia than in the rest of the world. So for now at least, we can sit back and enjoy the celestial light show.
I think probably was a once in a lifetime, a magnetic storm of this severity, and to be able to view it like this, it's absolutely magic.
No one sparkles harder than Professor Alan Duffy. He joined us earlier. Hello, Professor Space Hunk. Susie told me to say that to you. Sorry.
Hi, Susie. Always a fan of yours too.
Hey, Alan, when we think of Aussie astronomy nuts, we think of you. Surely you saw this last night, right?
So, look, I was at the G watching the footy, and by the time my phone, having melted down with all of my colleagues, I know I was trying to look through the lights of the G just on the odd chance. Of course, there's no chance. I went home, and unfortunately, I live north of the CBD, so all I could see was the skyscrapers, and I was in no state to be getting myself out to a darker location. So I missed one of the best Aurora experiences in decades.
Do you have to hand in your science membership card when something like this happens? Like, surely this is a no-go.
It's pretty shameful, I'm not going to lie. My phone was melting down with all of my colleagues sending me in photos, just loving life, and I was watching about 100-point drubbing. So it was, yeah, it was a mixed evening for me at that point, yeah.
Can you at least get a chance to see it tonight? Like, if we all missed it last night, is there going to be another light show tonight?
Yes, so the storm still is active. It's definitely not as strong as it was last night, but you still do have a chance to see it. It just means, though, that you're going to have to get a little further south, so we're not going to be seeing these light shows out, you know, for example, south of Brisbane. I'm afraid it's going to have to be southern Victoria, definitely Tasmania, and you'll have to get to a slightly darker location than before, just because the light show just really isn't going to be as intense.
Professor, these lights, they're not just pretty and beautiful, they're also geomagnetic storms and stuff. There were some blackouts in Sydney and New Zealand around the region. Were they related at all, or is this just sort of Ausgrid going down?
So geomagnetic storms, these coronal mass ejections absolutely do cause blackouts. They can disrupt satellites, they can cause tremendous challenges. So it's because a huge amount of material, highly energetic particles from the sun has just crashed into Earth. Now, we have a magnetic field. It protects us. It channels all of that energy down towards the poles. But even the magnetic field of the Earth can't completely prevent these particles from causing an impact on the ground. So thankfully, it seems like, considering the size of the storm that we had, the damage has been extremely minimal. And instead, all of us just got to see a spectacular light show. accepting myself, of course.
I was going to say, I've got to get on a plane. Should I be worried? Is it going to fall out of the sky?
No, definitely you'll be fine. And in fact, you could be in the best place to see these kinds of light shows. In fact, I once took a flight to Antarctica to see to fly under the Aurora. Now, I know there were many pilots reporting the Aurora on flights across Australia. Some of the shots from the cabins were just outstanding. So if you were flying at the time of this Aurora, you might actually have seen just an even more spectacular view of one of the biggest storms we've had in decades.
I mean, that sounds like a really lovely thing, but also we should be careful. So should we just blow up the sun to be safe?
It's an extreme option. I think instead maybe just follow the Bureau of Meteorology's space weather forecast. It will tell you what kinds of conditions you can expect, where you can best be placed to see the show, and really just wrap up warm. I think it's the most dangerous thing you'll be facing are mosquitoes and getting a chill.
OK, fine. So just stay warm is what you're saying. Don't blow up. I'll just make a call and cancel that whole thing.
If you can undo that decision, yeah.
I can and I will.
Professor Alan Duffy, thank you for the sunset and your time.
Thanks so much for having me. Happy hunting.
I mean, if you've been on a plane and seen it down in Antarctica, you're probably going to stay at the G, aren't you? To be fair, I've probably seen the best of this. Yeah,
We haven't been able to see anything in Sydney and Canberra over the past couple of weeks because of the heavy rain. But the bomb says good news. Those conditions are improving, and you might be able to see the lights tonight. So best watch it after our show and MasterChef, of course.
Yeah, don't go looking now or else.
I'm watching you.